The man who knew my night routine. I've been debating for months whether to write this. Even now, I'm not sure if what happened to me was supernatural or something far worse, something human. Last year, I lived alone in a small rented apartment on the third floor of an old building. The place wasn't perfect, but it was cheap, and I needed cheap. I worked late shifts at a convenience store, usually getting home around 2 a.m. every night. I had a routine, the exact same one, every single day. Unlock the door, drop my keys on the little wooden table by the entrance, turn on the hallway light, go to the kitchen for a glass of water, wash up, go to bed. Same order, same timing. For months. I never imagined someone else could know that. The first signs. The first weird thing happened on a Tuesday. I came home after a horrible shift, exhausted, half asleep, and when I opened the door, my keys didn't fall onto the table. They were already there, perfectly placed, centered. I froze for a few seconds. I could swear I had taken them to work, but I was tired. Maybe I really had forgotten them. Maybe I left the door unlocked and someone returned them. My mind tried to explain it. I brushed it off until the next night. I got home, opened the door, and the kitchen light was on. I never leave the kitchen light on. I physically can't. I'm paranoid about electricity bills, and yet it was bright like someone had just been standing there. I checked the apartment. Nothing was missing, nothing was moved, or so I thought. But when I walked into my bedroom, I noticed that a shirt I had thrown on the chair was now folded neatly on my bed. That was the moment a very cold, heavy feeling settled in my stomach. Someone was coming into my apartment. For the phone notification, 3 days later, things escalated. I was at work when I felt my phone buzz, a notification from the security app connected to my door lock. Front door unlocked. My blood ran cold. Nobody else had the code. I ran out of the store, told my manager something about an emergency, and sprinted all the way home. The door was closed, locked. Everything looked normal. But when I walked into my bedroom, I noticed something that wasn't mine. A folded piece of paper, placed gently on my pillow. Just 4 words. I like your routine. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. I kept every light on in the apartment, listening for the slightest sound. The breathing. 2 nights later, around 2:10 a.m., I heard something that still makes my chest tighten when I think about it. Breathing. Slow, steady, controlled breathing. Coming from under my bed. Not loud, like the person was trying not to be heard. I didn't move for almost a minute. I couldn't. I just stared at the ceiling, unable to process the fact that someone was literally inches below me. Finally, I rolled off the bed in one motion, grabbed my phone, and ran out of the apartment barefoot. I didn't stop running until I was outside on the street. I called the police. The police checked. 2 officers searched the apartment thoroughly. They checked the windows, the closets, the shower, even behind the fridge. Nothing. Nobody. But the dust under the bed, the dust was disturbed, dragged aside like someone had been lying there recently. The officers told me the usual. No sign of forced entry. Maybe a prank. Change your locks. I did. The landlord changed the code and installed a second lock. For a few nights, nothing happened. I started to relax. I convinced myself it was over. I was wrong. The final night. It was a Sunday. I got home at exactly 2 a.m., as I always did. Everything seemed normal. I turned on the hallway light, walked toward the kitchen, and then I froze, because sitting on my kitchen counter, lit up by the overhead light, was my own phone, unlocked, with the Notes app open, a new message typed out, "I miss your routine." I didn't think. I grabbed my jacket, left the apartment, and never returned. I quit my job, moved across the country, changed my number, new apartment, new schedule, new everything. And for months, everything was quiet, until last week. I came home after work, opened the door, and before my keys hit the table, my hallway light flickered on by itself. My routine. Somebody still knows it. And now, I think they found me again.